Digital barista in the US makes around $2,100 per month working for 5 days and 40 hours a week on their feet, running around, rushing. Also, a retail associate makes around $2,500 per month. A receptionist will maybe make $2,900 if you're lucky and you get a good position in a good company. Also the same thing, 40 hours, 5 days a week. But now, let me show you guys what you can do if you, for example, try something like lash extension. I'm gonna show you that with the same effort, the same amount of hours, or even less, but translated to lash extensions. Now, let me show you about lash extensions. If you get like 3 clients a week, which is something super doable, that's roughly like, let's say you take 3 hours for each set. That's 9 to 12 hours a week, and you're already making around $1,300 a month. And that's just something part-time. You can still keep your job on the side, so you don't even have to quit or anything. It's $1,300 extra that goes to you, or just another one, maybe if you want to do 2 days in a week, if you want to break the appointments. If you get 5 clients a week, you're already matching the salary of a receptionist in the US. Remember guys, this is like an average salary. I know some areas are gonna have higher salary, some areas are gonna have lower salary, but also these prices with lash extensions are not the biggest prices. I'm calculating with very low average lash extension price. Some people charge double than what I'm gonna show you. And here's the part that you might not think by yourself, but this thing about having 5 clients a week matching the receptionist salary, that's working half the hours. So you would be working around like 21 hours only instead of 40 per week. And you can also make your own schedule. So that makes it so much more flexible. If you want to make more money, you can work more time, more hours. And if you want to take a day off for a holiday, you decide it. If you have kids, you can decide what hours your kids need you that you cannot be working. If you want to go to the gym, you can allocate that time to go to the gym. You don't have to be stuck in the office. You don't have a manager. You don't have to clock in. But also remember, this is a good and a bad side. I'm not gonna be here romanticizing everything about doing lashes. It is a lot of work, and it's not something that changes from one day to the next. It's a slow burn. It's gonna grow with time, and that's why I recommend you guys to start as a part-time. Do not quit your job, keep your job, take the courses on the side, get clients on the side, and start building it slowly. See if you like it first. But I'm gonna show you guys all the numbers that I have compared to many different jobs, including other beauty services, including hairdresser and nail artists. So you guys can have an idea how much lash extensions can help you change your life. And if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Monica. I live in Hong Kong and I do lashes here. I actually quit my law school and moved to Hong Kong to do lashes, and I do not regret that. I have a very nice and flexible life, and I just want to show you guys how I built this, how I got fully booked on my first year as a lash artist during COVID times, guys. And and in this channel I talk about what am I doing to grow my business, things that I'm going through. You guys can learn with me, and I help you, you help me. If you have tips, I'm always happy to know in the comments, so let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the jobs I'm gonna be pointing here, and I wanna say that there's nothing wrong about these jobs. These jobs are great. I actually was a barista and a retail associate, I guess that's how we call it, but I worked as that before. I used to deliver food from restaurant to people's houses on foot. I had no motorcycle, no nothing, and I used to do that on the side while I was actually a retail salesperson, just so I could make more money on the side. But that's not a smart way to grow your income. It will grow your income, but it's gonna make you work much more hours, and those hours are not very well paid. So you might be wondering, okay, so how can I make more money without having to work even more hours? You guys probably know, if you're working as a barista, as a waitress, as a receptionist, you know, all these jobs, you're already 40 hours a week, 5 days. So that means it's 8 hours, right? It's 8 hours per day. At least 8 hours per day. Honestly, here in Hong Kong, for example, I don't even know if anyone here like with these jobs works only 8 hours, because when I was working it was 8 hours plus like the break that I would have in the middle, like the lunch break. So it's sometimes 9-10 hours that you're working, so it turns into like 45-50 hours per week that you're working for this salary. Okay, so you might be wondering, okay, how can I make more money with the same amount of hours? The thing is that you have to study skills, soft skills or hard skills. Well, hard skills would be more technical things, so how to do something on your computer, how to use AI, how to use this platform, blah blah blah. And soft skill would be more like how to deal with clients, how to build a team, how to find a team, how to have better relationships with people, with clients, with customers. So you're gonna have to work hard or soft skills, or probably both a little bit. So you can step two and then try to find something else that you like that pay better hourly, that you can charge more per hour. Okay, what am I doing now? How many hours I'm working? How much I'm earning per hour? And you can also calculate that counting with the hours that it takes for you to go to your job and come back. So some people have like 1 hour commute to work and then another hour commute back. So that's another extra 2 hours that you're losing on your day. And then we're gonna think about, okay, so what is the amount of money that I want to make in that hour? Like, how can I make that hour bring me more money? And also think about how many days a week would I like to work. So maybe right now you're like working 5 days a week, like the whole day you're out working, and you think like, oh, maybe it would be better to work 4 days a week, right? Something like that. Would be nice to have 3 days off. 4 days working, 3 days off. Looks pretty balanced. Like how much you have to make for 4 days, so you can quit your full-time job, you know, before you quit. So you secure, I have that amount of money, I can leave now. And I'm gonna tell you guys, recently I've been actually thinking about, wow, it would be really cool to have actually be a nail designer instead of lashes. You can also make a lot of money with nail designs. Like these numbers that I'm showing you guys is an average. Some people charge way more than I'm saying here. Of course, depends where you live, who you are. There's always gonna have someone that charges more. Like there's always more and more and more. We should start practicing richer mindset. I feel like for me, for example, for all this time, I'm still like trying to get better with it. But you know, it might sound very cheesy, but there is these quotes on Instagram, like you see, and it's something like, wish more for yourself because the world isn't on a budget. Because that sounds like so cheesy, like, oh, okay, like, oh, okay, have big dreams because you can achieve your dreams. But it's not even that. Like right now when I stop to think about like how much money is going around with like big companies, big tech, even like small companies, local companies, there's so much money being made there. Why so many people feel like they can charge more, like that there's not enough? We're all so scared of like, I'm not gonna have enough clients, there's not enough people in my area. Even for me, if I'm being honest with you, for a long time, and now, like I said, I'm trying to get better with this, is basically I've been as well like, oh, Hong Kong doesn't have enough people for me to teach. Like they don't want to be taught by someone that is not a local, someone that is a foreigner. And I'm trying to work that in my head as well, that I'm sure there is a space for me here. I just need a way to find them and for them to find me. And now that I'm like also here, like for example on YouTube, I want to find these people and it's really hard. So if you're one of them, please comment, because I feel so alone sometimes. Like, am I even talking to anyone, or am I just talking, screaming at a void? And anyways, a barista earns around $13 per hour, and a lash artist doing a 3-hour set at around $110. So this is like the average amount that I put, which is a very reasonable price. $110 for a 3-hour set, that's $37 per hour. And that's if you're taking like 3 hours, and if you're charging just $110. Right now my prices are higher than that. Let me just calculate. Right now, for example, my volume lashes, I would take Most of the time I take just 2 hours. If it's someone that has a lot of lashes, a more complicated set, then 2.5 hours. I hardly take 3 hours. 3 hours, 3.5 hours I only take if it's someone very specific that has a lot of lashes. So last week I actually did take 3.5 hours, but this client, I know she has so many lashes, it's like layers and layers and layers, and she also wanted a mega volume set with purple lashes, so I had to like be switching colors and stuff like that. So that's a more specific case. Took me 3.5 hours, but usually let's say 2.5 hours. My set right now of volume is 1,200 Hong Kong, which is 153 US dollars. I usually take 2 hours, so 153, well, divided by 2, that's not very hard, 76-ish per hour, right? And this is only the full set. Usually when you do lash extensions, the biggest amount of money is actually on the fills, because the fills would be just take like 1.5 hours-ish. Usually that's what I take. I take 1.5 hours for the fills, and they are more expensive. So my fill, for example, for a volume would be $850, which is 108 point something US dollars, and that's just for 1.5 hours. So half the time from the numbers I'm showing you guys. So it would be 108 divided by 1.5. So my hour is $72 doing my fills right now. And honestly, I follow a lot of lash artists from the US. Like, I think most of the market is still in the US. Like, US is so big with this, and I don't know if it's the numbers exactly, or if it's for the fact that everyone speaks the same language, which is English, which most of the world will speak as well, or if it's just because US is so good on the social media stuff, because it's really hard for me to find people from other countries. Well, there are quite a lot from Brazil as well, but the ones in the US are so big and the communities are so big. So I follow a lot of them, and a lot of them charge way more than me. They charge like $200 for a fill, you know, $250 for whatever, like a full set, a large fill or whatever. Even my friend here in Hong Kong, she charges a bit more than me. She charges like, I think my full set is like one of her fill prices. She's been in the market a little bit longer than me. Her clients are a little bit different than me. They're local, and she told me that they are like people with money, so a little bit different than my target clients here, and that can change. I love my clients here, so I don't feel like I need to change, because I really enjoy having them here, and that's very important when you have a business, that you also enjoy what you're doing. Lashes is something that I love a lot, but not something that is like my hobby, that I love it as a hobby. Like, for example, I love gym so much, right? So I go to competitions, I do strongman competition, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, like high rocks. I've done CrossFit. I started everything with CrossFit. So I do all these things, and I did get certified on CrossFit coach, but it's not really something I want to pursue, because it's something that I really love as my hobby, as my thing on the side, and it's something that I love, that I wouldn't want to work with it so I don't ruin it. You know what I mean? So this thing also that people say about love your job and job your love. Love your job and job your love. I'm not really sure if I agree with that. I think your job will always be a job, and having something that you love so much sometimes can ruin a little bit of things you love. So I think lashes, for example, or maybe for you can be something else, can be like nails or hair. It's something that you love, that you like, oh, I can't see myself doing this. Actually, hair is something that I thought about doing when I was younger, and nowadays I could definitely see me doing hair or nails. I think nails more, because nails is even more creativity, and I love watching reels about these nail artists doing like different sets of nails every day. Like, every client comes is a completely different art that you can do. And lashes, yes, they can get customized, but we only go so far. Like, most people, like 99% of people in your clients and most clients are not gonna want like super crazy lashes, colorful and going everywhere. Most people want something more usable for work, because they are teachers, they are bankers, they are lawyers, they are, I don't know, HR people, you know, they have their own job. And lashes, they want their lashes to be something wearable at work, at the beach, at a party. So it's not gonna be like something crazy like nails can be, because nails, you know, it's not something on your face. But anyway, yeah, I would love doing these other things as well. And if it's something that you like and you see yourself doing, that's also a really good path for you to try. I do find hair to be a little bit harder to grow on the side. I don't know, because I think a bit more complicated than nails and lashes. So again, so you have to check depending where you live. For me, for example, I live in Hong Kong and I'm from Brazil. These two countries, we don't need any other certification to do lashes. You only need to know how to do lashes and have a certificate, so it's not very strict. In the US, it's more strict. You have to go through beauty school, I think. But one thing that I was listening to a podcast from LashCon, from the owners of LashCon. They are like some of the big ones on lash extensions in the US. They run the biggest conference of lashes. And she was talking about something that I do agree, and I think it makes sense, is that even if you're in the US, that you need beauty school license first. Do lash extensions first. Like if on the beauty school, the only thing you see yourself is doing lashes, you wouldn't want to learn like how to do nails, how to do hair, how to do waxing. You don't want to know those things. Go to get a lash course first, because for you to do the course, you don't need the license. Just for you to practice that you need it. Do the course first and see if it's something you even like. Because if you go through all the hustle of going through doing the beauty school and spending money there in time, and then on top going to lash extensions just so you figure out like, oh, actually I don't like this, like I don't have the patience, maybe oh my hands shake a lot, like I can't see properly even with glasses, even with the magnifier. There are magnifier glasses for lash extensions as well that a lot of people use it so they don't get their eyes tired. But maybe even that doesn't work with you. Maybe you don't like it, maybe there are 1,000 reasons why that might not work for you. You better figure that out first as soon as possible so you don't waste any more money or any more time with it. So that would be one of my first tips. If you think like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I wanna know what I need, like what do I need? Where do I start? I don't know, like I'm lost. The first time I actually stopped to think about that. I have another video here explaining if I had to start from zero this year, what I would do for lash extensions, of course, because that's where I know how to do it. But actually that video also works, I think, for nail artists or for brow artists, even like maybe makeup artists. I think that can work as well. I give their step-by-step or how you can start on the side, and giving you way more tips than I can fit in this video because this video is already going to be too long. So bringing it back to, you don't have to quit your job. You start this on the side. You don't rent anything. You can start from your house. You can start from a client's house. You know, you don't need a space just for it yet. If you want to make it like more appropriate, you can buy like a massage bed or a recliner, whatever. If it's going to be in your house, maybe a recliner can be something that looks more cohesive with your area, because then you can just use it to watch TV later. But a massage bed can be, usually they will fold and you can put it just in the corner as well, so it's like less space that they take. But you can also start like lashing from the sofa bed, from the client's bed. I've done that a lot for a long time on the beginning. I started from my sofa bed and I was going to my client's house, and they would lie down either on their sofa or on their bed, and I will lash them from there. Also, these numbers are based on you having around 2 to 3 clients per week, and working 1 or 2 days on the week. I'm gonna go through each number. Okay, so I'm gonna put on the screen for you guys the table that we did with all the numbers, so you guys can take screenshots if you want to revisit these numbers. You can also, like, if you do enjoy your full-time job, you can also, with time, if lashes are helping you bring more money but you still love your full-time job, maybe you can do part-time both. So like you can reduce your hours on the job you love but don't bring enough money for you, and match with the amount of lash that actually brings you money. Maybe it's not the thing you love the most, but brings you more money and you also enjoy doing. So maybe you do part-time one, part-time the other, like morning you do one thing, afternoon you do the other. right? It's very flexible. It's like everything will be up to you. So here I'm gonna say like the barista monthly income around $2,100, 40 hours, 5 days a week. So their hour is around $13. For the lash artist, for you to match that as a lash artist, it would be $2,100, but working only 15 hours a week, so less than half. And that will be 10 days in a month, so not 10 days a week. Not 10 days a week, so like 10 days in a month. And your hour will be around $35 per hour. That's if you're charging $110 per full set and taking 3 hours to finish that. For the retail associate, it's $2,500. Same thing, $16 per hour. For you to match that as a lash artist, you would have to work around 18 hours per week, so still less than half, around 12 days a month, and your hour will be around $36 as well. Same thing. Receptionist, $2,900. You have to work around 21 hours, so that one is just on the 50%-ish of time that you would need, 14 days per month, but it's still double the amount for your hourly rate. Okay, but what about like the other beauty services? I also have here a comparison. So a hairstylist, it will earn around $3,650 per month. Of course, this depends where you are with salon, etc., your experience as well. What I saw here is also that hairstylists need a cosmetology school, which take 1 to 2 years, plus a state license, plus like having a salon, usually in the US. And that's like even extra. I think this is a bit longer than the beauty school that people have to do in the US. I'm not really sure, but I think beauty school is like a year and a half. I'm not sure, guys, but you can research if you're in the US. You probably know better than me. And the nail tech school takes around 3 to 6 months, plus a state license and a salon. So I'm not so sure about these more technical things about like hairstylish and nail, and even like the lash, if it's the exact same thing. I think nail tech school, I'm not sure if that's included in the beauty school they have to go through for lashes. So it might be, it might not, but their prices are not that bad. The hourly rates are not that bad, not that far from lash extensions, but lash extensions still beat them by a good amount. So for a hairstylist, let's say they're making $3,650 per month. That will be still 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. So that brings their hour to $23. And the nail technicians around the same, $3,600. Also 5 days, 40 hours will bring their hour to $22. So that is still like around $11 short from lash extensions, for example. And lash extensions is still working less than hairstylist and nail technician. So for a lash artist to match the hairstylist, the salary, you would only need 27 hours a week, not 40, which is around 9 clients, and per month would be 34 clients per month. And as a nail artist, it would be 27 hours as well, also 9 clients, so around 33, 34 clients. For nail artists, 33 clients for nail artists, 34 to match hairstylist. So as you guys can see, it's still like 13 hours less per week, and this is if you're doing all full sets. Like I told you guys, the biggest amount of money we're gonna make with lash extensions is with fills, and they will take around half the time of a full set, but we can charge more than half of the price. So this number can be even lower in number of clients, or if you meet the same amount of clients, the salary can go even higher. But okay. So here's a really quick to match each salary, just making it quick here. For a barista, just 5 clients per week, retail associate, 6 clients a week, receptionist, 7 clients, hairstylist and nail technician, around 9 clients. So even compared to other beauty careers and services, lashes still wins. But okay, let's talk a little bit about now, how did I get to this number? How did I get to $110? And what are the steps that you need to do so you can make that amount of money? So when you learn lashes, go to my other video and check about how to find the right course for you. I give a lot of tips there. After you've done your course, you're not gonna go straight to clients, okay? No one does that. We have to practice. Lashes are practice, 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 practice. And that's why it's so important to start that on the side, because it's gonna take you some time. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take you some time to get fast. But 3 hours is doable with a bit of practice, like a month or 2 of practice. You can get to 3 hours. I got to 3 hours within the first month. They were not perfect, they were not super aligned, but these are things that are gonna come with time. And you can start with something more natural. You can start now with other styles that nowadays are quicker and easier, look better for beginners. I have actually some tips for beginners to make it quick. I actually should do a video how to make your lash extension sets quicker, because there's so much I can teach you guys, and that's a big thing. Remind me, put in the comments if you want me to do the video. But let's say here, models, your models are not gonna be your clients, they're gonna be people you're gonna bring, probably like friends or friends of friends, family members. They're gonna come and you're gonna do their lashes either for free or just charging a little bit just to cover the price of the material that you're using, just so you're not paying them to get lashes done, you know, just so we're like 0 to 0, okay? So people in the beginning, just do it for free, okay? Because on the beginning, honestly, you might take like 4 hours, 5 hours. I took like 6.5 hours on my sister. First time I got to do her volume lash, and it was on my bed. My back was killing me because I was sitting like this and she had her head on a pillow on my lap, and I was doing her lashes like this with no ring light, no nothing. It took me like, oh my God, forever. I do not miss those times, but you know, with time I got faster. And if you get your position right and the small tips, you get there really quick. Trust me, trust the process. Okay, so you can calculate how much you will spend on each of them. Calculate like the eye patch, the glue. When the materials are like big materials that are gonna last for many people, like tweezers, you don't have to be changing your tweezers, or glue, or like primer. If you have a primer, you don't really need a primer, guys. I also have a free guide in the description with all the material that you really need on the beginning. If it's not there, you don't need. But yeah, but like glue, primer, tweezers, stuff like that you don't have to be changing. Those ones you divide by 100 and you have like an idea of a price per person, and then you add how much you will be like the eye patch, tape, stuff like that, just so you have an idea. So here I put around like, let's say $20. You calculate you're gonna spend $20 to get their lashes done. You can charge just 20. You know, after you've done a few people, let's say for a week or 2, you do like friends and family, and then after that when you start understanding more how to do the lashes and they're turning up like okay, like not terrible, not super empty, you can start charging them like, okay, you cover at least the cost. So you can do either $20 if that's your base, or you can ask for them for like $30, you know, just so you have like a little bit of an incentive. You know, those $10 are not gonna make a big difference for them, but it might help you boost a little bit of your confidence of like, okay, like I can see that I can do this, that this can work for me, you know. $10, like, I know it's not a lot, guy, but at least buys you what can it buy you? $10, like a meal, right? So models will be also an investment from you. Like they will be an investment of time, of effort, but they will help you get where you want. Take lots of pictures, guys. Make sure you have to take pictures of before, of the after. Take photos of their eyes and analyze their eyes and their face structure. The course online that I want to launch, it's gonna include something like that. A lot of people sell that on the side, but I want that to be included on my basic class, because that's so important. You have to understand how to make your client's eyes pop and not make them look droopy, because that happens a lot. The wrong mapping on someone can traumatize them and they'll never want to get lash extensions again. Trust me. As soon with that on the side, start building an Instagram of like photos, before and after, photos of like results that you like, explain on the caption what they are, explain the difference between the techniques, and start posting there. You know, you don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to put your face yet. You're gonna have to put your face later, but on the beginning you don't have to put your face. You know, you're just learning, getting familiar with Instagram. And if you start getting anyone messaging you to get their lashes done, do not cheap out, okay? If people are approaching you, you either tell them like, oh, I actually need a model for this specific style. If you want, then it's this price. If you don't want to come as a model, if you want to get your own thing, like in your own way, more personalized to you, then you give them your full price. Okay, but I wouldn't recommend that within at least the first 2 months that you're like practicing more, so you can get faster, because paying clients also don't want to be there for like 4 hours. I would say 2.5 to 3 hours is better. Let's say 3 hours. I did a lot of clients for 3.5 hours, even 4 hours to be honest. But yeah, to be honest, if it's a mega volume, you can probably go to 4 hours. But if it's just a volume, something like more natural, lighter, I would say like up to 3 hours is acceptable to pay for full price. You can also offer like a first time discount, but don't put a big discount. Don't put, I did 40% off, and what that brought me was only cheap clients. 99% of them never came back. I had a few that came back, but most of them did not. And so that is not worth it for you. You know, you're gonna be bringing people. Yes, of course, maybe you want to practice more, but they're not gonna come back. They're not gonna be your client. So if you offer a discount, do like a smaller discount. Nowadays I do 10%, but I have done 15% before as first time clients as well. So you can do that, and yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe you want to do $20 off or something like that, you know, but don't cheap out on your price. Don't try to be the cheapest lash artist in your area, because that is just gonna bring our market. It's gonna be bad for you, bad for me, bad for all the lash clients around, because you're gonna be working a lot for very little money. And then what is the point? You just changed your whole life, put all this effort on your days off just so you make less money than you could be making. But the point wasn't it to make more money so you can have a better life? Right? Let's think about that, guys. Let's stop being cheap, because here in Hong Kong is all I see. Cheap places everywhere giving promotions all the time. I'm like, how do you even survive, honestly? And they don't, because they're doing promos all the time, and now they need the promos to have those clients coming back, because those clients don't want to pay the full price because they're used to paying half of it. Oh well, that doesn't happen to me, because cheap prices will attract cheap clients, and those are the biggest headache you ever had. If you can separate things from the beginning, that's the best thing you can do. Okay, so where does 110 come from? So first of all, you have to calculate how much you spend on each person, and then you're gonna have to consider, like, do you have to travel to them? If you travel to them to go to their house, you can also charge more for that. That's also a tip, that if you start going to people's house, you not only save on rent, but you can also charge more for going to their place. So at a salon, a full lash set runs around $100 to $120, and that's around the market rate, depending on where you are. Again, guys, it depends which country. You can research a little bit as well. We are not like inventing numbers here. We have to charge for what is worth it, okay? And you're gonna find your number with time, and after you figure out also like who's your clientele, right? If it's like younger girls, older women, rich women. I have a lot of personal trainers and teachers, office people like marketing and HR and things like that. So a lot of them work with these things. So you're gonna have to calculate for yourself, okay? How much does it cost in products, on your time? Do you have to go there? Do you not have to go there? But also, like, people say like, oh, don't base your price on other people's, but I'm like, I disagree. I think you do have to like figure out what people are paying around you, so you have a base. Like, everyone does that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, everyone does that. Everyone have an idea. Get the salons and check all of the salons near you in your city, and skip the cheap ones, okay? Let's look at the most expensive ones, and okay, that's our goal. That's how much we want to charge, right? But as a beginner, try to find something in the middle. So you're not charging cheap, like cheap salons, because we're gonna give them good service, top-notch service, chef's kiss, okay? You learn with me, you're gonna have best service, best customer service, best lashes. So we're not gonna be charging cheap, but you also are not experienced, so it's hard for you to charge that expensive. So let's find something in the middle. So here, from my research, will be like between 100 and 120, so I put $110, okay? So that will be for 3 clients a week, that will be $1,320 per month. And that's you working part-time from your home without quitting your job. If you go to their clients, you can charge more, then you'll be making a little bit more, but that's also not discounting how much you spend on the product. So it will be actually be a little bit lower, but to be honest, most products end up being quite cheap. It's very few of them that you have to be like restocking all the time. Most of them, I only buy things here every couple of weeks. Lashes itself, just a couple of months, because they do last a long time. And if you get good brands that I have in my beginner's guide free, you're gonna be fine. fine. When you go to a client's house, the minimum you have to charge is how much you're gonna spend to get there, but don't charge just that because you're also spending your time, okay? So calculate how much you would be happy to be charged if you spend like 1 hour going to a client's house. How much does that, you know, would make you happy to go there? Usually it would be, I would charge like, would be $32, between $20 and $32 to go to their house, depending where they lived, how long it would take me to get there. So remember guys, models equals practice, okay? Real clients equals real money. So the real clients are approaching you. When you're friends, you tell your friends, like if people like your lashes, you send them to me, but don't tell them like how much I charged you because you're my friend, right? Maybe make your menu already on Canva. My menu came from Canva. Everything I do for my Instagram is on Canva. It's easy. You can do with a cheap version, the free version, sorry, or the paid one. The free one is fine as well. I used it for a long time, but you don't have to. Now let's talk a little bit about the investment size, the investment price, what you have to invest for a lash course. So it depends who you're gonna do the course with. It depends if it's online, if it's in person. A lot of them have installments option. You can pay installments so you don't have to put all the money up front, which is really good. I also do installments. Even for me here as working by myself, I let the person pay me like a deposit, and then the rest, she just has to be done with the payments by the day of the course. And it will vary a lot, but I would say it's around $1,500, $1,000 to $2,000 per course. It depends what it includes. Some people will be like very basic, won't even teach you volume yet, or some of them, most of them I think already teaches you volume, some teaches mega volume. So I'll leave, if you guys are interested, let me know what you would like to learn in your course, because I'm building my course right now. I want to add extra things. I want to know what people actually want to learn, and I've opened a wait list. It's in the also in the description, the link below. You can click there, add your email, and I'll send you all the updates. If I have any updates about my course, I'll let you know there. Hopefully I can find a platform that accepts installments, because I know it's a lot of money for you to put everything at once, and I want you guys, I want to help more people. I want you to have this option of trying lash extensions and see if it is for you. So if you pay between $1,000 to $2,000, right? Usually it might come or not with a beginner lash kit. For me, in person, I have a beginner lash kit. If it's not in person, I'm not gonna have it because I don't have a brand, so I don't really send it. I'm trying to get actually a coupon for discount with some big brands that I like. If that works, that would be great. If not, I'm gonna tell you guys like some websites that you can get a beginner's kit, and then you can pick which one you wanna buy. I wouldn't recommend buying each item by itself because it's very overwhelming and you're not really sure what to buy, and then you might buy bad brands, the wrong ones, etc. The beginner lash kit will be around $150 to $300, depending on what is included, which brands, and the delivery, etc. So let's say you spend around $2,000 on your course, okay? When do you make that money back, right? So I want to be clear, you're not going to make that money back when you're still doing models. Models will be for practice, will be too hard. You're going to be either doing for free or for just the price of the products, or for like $10 max. So let's talk about when you start getting clients for the full price. So at $110 per set, you need 19 clients to cover $2,000 course. That's it, like 19 clients. If you do 3 clients per week, that is 6.5, less than 7 weeks for you to get that. If your course was $1,500, if your expense was $1,500, then that would be 14 clients. That is not bad, guys. This is super doable. So if you get like I said, if you get 3 clients per week, your cost will be paid between 6 to 7 weeks. And that's only like, you can do all those 3 clients in 1 day or in 2 days if you want, in that week, if you can fit that, you know, but it's something that you can fit in your life. You don't have to quit your job, and you can figure out slowly by yourself. It's something that you really want to grow for full-time, or keep it as a part-time, as just an extra side hustle for you, but that will bring you more money than getting a part-time job as a waitress, as a barista. It does need some investment, but it will pay off so much more in the future if you take it seriously and practice. And if you want to see more details of what I would do if I had to start from zero, from scratch this year on lash extensions, then you might want to see this video next. Subscribe, because I'll see you on my next video. Bye!